Hey y'all, it's me again, and it's time to start talking about Daredevil Born Again Season 2. So let me get into my seeing glasses and we'll get started. Alrighty, so then this episode of I've Been Watching, we're going to talk about episodes 1 through 4 of Daredevil Born Again Season 2. So let's get to it. Alright, so let's talk story, spoiler warning, obviously. Picking up from last season, Daredevil is doing everything he can to fight Mayor Fisk and his anti-vigilante task force. Bullseye's still on the loose. Punisher's now on the loose, but we don't get to see him. We get to hear about him a little bit, but we don't get to see him. Meanwhile, there's this fellow named Mr. Charles, played by Matthew Lillard, and he has come in working for none other than Valentina. Y'all might remember her from Thunderbolts, or even Falcon and the Winter Soldier, if y'all saw that. Good show in my opinion, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Anyway, so Mr. Charles working for Valentina is there and causing all kinds of problems for Kingpin. And if that wasn't enough, Kingpin suffered a pretty bad loss in this last episode because it seems Vanessa might just be dead at the hands of supposedly Bullseye, but Fisk technically caused it himself because Bullseye threw something and Fisk hit it with his wrestling belt that he had from the last episode, and the shard hit her in the head. So Vanessa might be dead, but let's talk more about the characters now. Alright, so out of the gate, Daredevil himself is going down to a 4 out of 5, mainly because that's all he feels like he is this season. I mean, he is having some struggles as Matt, but because he's not mad in public, because he's hiding, it just, like I said, I feel like there's some story lost, and I feel like there's still some things he needs to be dealing with emotionally and overall that we're not seeing. So, unfortunately, 4 out of 5 for Matt this time. Alright, so Karen Page is going to get a 5 out of 5 because she has gone from being lost in a haze of characters to being one of the most important soldiers in Daredevil's army and one of his greatest allies, more so than she already was. So, 5 out of 5 for Karen. And now, staying on target, let's talk about Bullseye. Bullseye's got a 5 out of 5 this season because just from the little bit we got to see of him in episode 4, because it really carried, a lot of his story carried in episode 4, and he did fantastic with it. I love the diner scene. I love the fight between him and Fisk. I'm interested to see where things go, especially with him and Matt, because they've got this whole dynamic of the enemy of my enemy is my friend right now. So let's see how that goes. Speaking of the Fisks, both Wilson and Vanessa get a 5 out of 5. Kingpin has got a lot going on this season, and that's saying a lot for Wilson Fisk. He's dealing with his emotional situation with his wife. He's worried about his city. He's got Mr. Charles up his ass. He's got all these things going on, and if something happens to slip at any moment, he could be brought down. And in episode 4, him losing Vanessa, that might just be the thing that breaks him. So, I guess we'll see from here. Daniel gets a 5 out of 5. He is great this season. Absolutely fantastic. I can't say enough good things about Daniel this season. The actor is just doing so well. He has really stepped up, and you can see so much of his father in him, but he's also doing his own thing with it. He's really just kicking ass in this role, and great job. 5 out of 5. I have to give BB a 3 out of 5 on this one, not because she's a bad character, not because her story is bad. I like the Mayor Kingpin stuff they're doing with her, but that's all they're doing with her, basically. Her story just feels lost, in a way. I mean, she's an important character, but the Mayor Kingpin thing feels like the most important thing she's doing right now. Her role, if there is one in Daredevil's army, is kind of unclear, and she herself is just a little bit hard to follow right now. So, yeah, sorry. Now, Buck Cashman's bringing it up to a 4 out of 5 this season because him and Daniel are starting to butt heads, and we are seeing just how brutal Buck can be. So, yeah, 4 out of 5. Keep your eyes on Buck. I don't know where he's going this season, but I think he's going somewhere. We can't forget, shall we say, the gentleman of the hour, Jacques Duquesne. He had his trial as the swordsman. He was basically up shit creek without a paddle until Daredevil busted him out and busted everybody out of the jail. And now he is, I presume, on the loose. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. His dynamic with Heather was great. So, yeah, good 5 out of 5 for old Jacques Duquesne, the swordsman. I have to give White Tiger a 3 out of 5 as well because much like BB, I'm loving their characters, what they're doing with them. I just wish they would do more. Like, that's why the characters are scoring so low, honestly. For instance, I still don't know anything about this talisman. I'm not clear if it's giving Angela a lot of power. I'm not sure how it's helping her, if it's helping her at all. I just know that it's like a sentimental piece, so that's not very well explained. I wish I could see more of what she's doing behind the scenes because right now she's just popping up and appearing. I mean, it feels like BB, like I said before, she has a role in the story, but it just feels disconnected at times. So the actresses are doing great jobs, but the characters I feel like could be improved on as far as the writing. Like BB and Angela, y'all deserve better. But 3 out of 5, and here's hoping that by the end of the season we can get them to a 4 or a 5 out of 5. Alright, next is a little bit of a strange one. I want to talk about New York City as a character. And you might be asking, Donnie, what the hell are you talking about New York City as a character? Well, you got the BB report. You've got the interactions with like Josie and Cherry and all these other people that aren't necessarily, I mean, yeah, the cops and Josie and them are working with Daredevil, but so many people who aren't working with Daredevil at all that are just trying their best to live through this Fisk regime, so to speak. And it's done really well. 4 out of 5. Like I say, street level Marvel is just kicking ass right now. I love it. Overall, we got a 57 out of 65, which is an 88% or thereabouts. And it's the lower scoring on this one. It's a great season so far. The story's great, but it's really crowded. And like, the whole Mr. Charles thing, he's a great character, but I'll be a lot happier when I understand more of his role in the story, because right now a lot of their most compelling characters or people I'd love to see or hear more about are not getting that treatment really. So like I say, it's a little bit crowded, which can be stressful, but it's also something that I'm still every single episode every single week. So don't miss it. Check out Born Again Season 2. That's all this time for I've Been Watching.